Hey everybody, Peter here. This is part 2 of the cast iron series that I'm doing here. If you guys remember the last one, we cleaned this thing out. Soap and water, potato and salt. Got it cleaned up pretty decently. We're just going to take it to the next step though. Sorry for the camera being shaky. I'm just on this plastic fold out table. We're going to take a couple things. We got a drill here with a brass wire brush on it. It's actually falling out of it. And then I have a orbital sander, palm sander. I've got a 120 grit piece of paper on that. And what we're going to do is we're going to try to get some of this stuff out. Just get this down to the raw iron, flatten it out, level it out, smooth it out, whatever you want to say. Try to work these sides a little bit here. And on the back side, I kind of already did a little test right here. We're going to use that wire brush on that drill. We're going to use that to get in there. Excuse the noises in the background. There is an air show going on here, so there's planes flying by. Hear them from miles away. And then we're also just going to take that sander and just get this outer edge. Doesn't really affect how the pan performs, I don't think, but I just want to clean it up some, like that one rust spot there and over on the side. Just get that cleaned up. So I'm going to start with saying, obviously, if you're working on something like this, good ventilation. I am outside. It's a little warm, but whatever. If you have a mask, wear a mask. Gloves if you have them. I don't have any gloves handy. Not really necessary, but just you are working with metal and you don't want that getting into, if you have any open wounds on your hands or anything, you definitely don't want that getting in there, especially rusty iron. So just take precautions. There's one of the jets. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Take your precautions. Gosh, you can really just hear that thing going forever, can't you? So take proper precautions, use the right safety steps. If you got cuts on your hands, wear gloves or just wait until your hands are healed up. Ventilation, mask, eye protection, rust, iron. You don't want that getting in your eyes. Good ventilation, outside, get a fan going. Mine's over there. Got another one hooked up. So mask, gloves, eye protection, ventilation, airflow, go slow, be smart. It is a lengthy process. But if you do it right and just go slow, it won't take that much time. Maybe 10-15 minutes. I guess it depends on the severity of your pan. You know, the more work you put into these stages, the better the seasoning should turn out. So we got that all out of the way. Just gonna start with this wire brush, and I'm just gonna try to get these ridges cleaned up a little bit. It looks like now, I don't know if this really helps or anything, but that's what it looks like now. And I do see a couple spots that I would like to get cleaned up, namely. People do bolt these things down. I don't really have any boards or anything to just nail this down to. So just be careful where your hands are and just be aware of where your hands are, and you should be fine. But if you can bolt it down, awesome. All right, so I've maybe spent, I don't know, a minute just on one section here. If you guys can see, there's the jets again. I was kind of getting in this area. There was a spot in there and it looks like it's kind of gone. Hit this outside a little bit. I'm just going to go ahead and do every section here, kind of like pieces of a pizza, section by section. And then we'll move over to the sander. Okay, so I'm taking a pause here. Can you see the half that I worked on here? Done this entire half now. Cleaned it up some, got rid of those spots. Back and forth. Following the edge as best I can with that brush, you know, following it along, angling it, different angles. Keep it moving. That's another good tip here, is keep it moving, especially with the sander. Don't stay in one place too long, because that's how you start to dig it out, and then you'll get, you know, like ruts or whatever. Just keep it always moving there. So I've done half of it. You can kind of see that this side's cleaner, and then this side I still have to do. That took all of about maybe 3 minutes. Again, this one wasn't too bad. We lucked out after that cleaning. So I'm just going to go ahead and get this other side done, and then we'll switch over to the sander. All right, so I'm all done with the drill now. If you don't have a drill, you can just buy a hand wire brush. It's probably going to take you a little bit longer than, you know, 5-10 minutes. But that just helps knock off some of the loose stuff. Especially if you have like a lodge pan, those actually have a coating on them. It's not just, you know, perfectly baked seasoned oil on there. That is a polymer coating. That should help get through some of that. But this just helps shines it up a little bit. And I'm pretty satisfied with how it looks right now. So the next step is going to be the palm sander, orbital sander. I don't know the full name or the exact name of this. And this will mainly be why I need gloves. I mean, this thing, I used this the other week. You can see this table's kind of dirty. This works really well though. And we're just going to use this to get the bottom and try to work on these sides, get those smoothed out, so when we do the seasoning, it's a better surface. So again, ventilation, take your time. Gloves if you got them, if you need them. Eye protection, get airflow, and just take your time. Again, this should probably only take a couple of minutes. It might seem like forever. If you like doing it, maybe it won't, but it does help. And again, this will affect the finished product. So we're gonna go ahead and get this sander on and start working on the bottom. All right, so that was literally maybe a minute's worth of sanding there with that orbital sander, whatever you want to call it. Hopefully, if a lot of these discs, they do get eaten up pretty fast. You can already see how worn out that is. Notice the color of my hands right now. So that is stuff that you don't want in your lungs. You don't want that in your eyes or any open wounds. I do have some wipes here to kind of help keep my hands clean in case I rub my eye or something. I don't want to be getting this in there. I won't be using this on that because it is wet and I don't know exactly how long I'm going to be out here. So you can see, we went from that darker color and we got this raw iron in there. Nice shiny raw iron. It does feel pretty smooth. I think if I did a couple more passes, I can get this thing looking pretty flat. Maybe not perfectly, you know, get that shine perfectly across it, but just get it relatively flat. So when we get the oil in there, it can get a nice flat even coat and it'll just help it look a lot better in the final product. But I'm going to go ahead and work on the sides now. Again, just a couple minutes if even that. And we should be good for this part of the video. Okay, I've been out here about some 20 minutes now. Might have just seen that bead of sweat come off my nose there. I've been out here, yeah, about 20-30 minutes sanding away. I was using different grits. I actually even went back and tried a 50 grit just to see if I could get down a little bit better. As you can see, this thing's looking a little shiny. You can see right in the center here, this is perfectly smooth, but just right there. You start going out, you can kind of see right here, a little rough there. I know I'm not supposed to be touching this to that. A little rough there still, but mostly in the center here. Smooth, just a teeny bit bumpy, but we got it down best we could without going too extreme. Light sanding out here on the outside. Like I said, I wasn't trying to get that perfect or anything. Didn't do too much back here. It seemed all right. I did take care of that rust spot on the side there, but really, like I've said before, as much time as you put into this, that's how it's going to turn out. The more time you spend, the better it's going to look. I could go fully extreme and get this stripped all the way down to raw iron, but this should be plenty good for normal everyday cooking. I don't see there being any issues with this. But if you want to do like a full strip down, you're gonna have to really get at it, maybe bust out an angle grinder, but then you have to worry about how thick your metal is, because you don't want it to get too thin, because then you start running into issues there with just, is the pan going to hold up? Also, I didn't do the handle at all because it's the handle. Looked fine to me, so left that one alone. Other ways of stripping out the old seasoning, I've seen people use oven cleaner, and that is a very strong, harsh chemical. If you do something like that, where you spray it on, wrap it in a bag, let it sit overnight, repeat that process however many times. If you do go that route with chemicals, this is iron and it is porous, and those chemicals will go into your pores, so you need to get them back out. So if you need to go that way, do it. Just make sure you clean it and wash it about 7,800 times before you use it. Maybe not that many times, but you get the idea. I'm pretty satisfied with this. That is going to be the end of this video, guys. I'm really excited to get seasoning and see what we can get with this. Again, if you guys like the video, leave a comment down below. Give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and let me know your thoughts, comments. If you have a certain method that you use for cleaning up your cast iron or anything like that, just let me know. Until next time, guys, have a good one.